Hello, today I would like to show you how to write a flowchart given right here. So, as you can see here, we have the diagram shows how ethanol fuel is produced from corn. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 8 stages, and I will explain it while writing this task 1. So to be clear that we need to mention first introduction, then overall, and then body paragraph. I want to mention it right before, and then so for introduction, all we have to do is to just paraphrase this sentence, like the flowchart illustrates the process of making ethanol fuel from corn. So it's here different, and I'm writing different. On when it comes to overall, we have to mention like how many stages it here. We need to write stages and what it starts with, what it ends with, something like this. And when it comes to body, we need to describe the process following this chart one by one. So let's get started. The flowchart illustrates the process of making ethanol fuel from corn from corn. So as you can see, we have a short introduction right here, and I'm going to write the overall part. Overall the process consists of 9 stages. As you can see, I mentioned it consists of 9 stages, and I'll write how it starts, how it ends, beginning with corn, the raw material, the raw material is something that we use to create something. So raw material ready for processing. As you can see, we have just corn right here, the processing, and ending with the transportation of the finished product to the customer So I wrote how it starts, how it ends, and on how many stages, all the mentioned already. We have intro right here, we have overall right here, and I'll start with the first body right here. Okay, so for this reason, I'll make it a little bit closer. So, okay, let's start with, if you start with the corn. At the processing plant, the processing plant is stored ready for the next stage, which as you can see, we are following this order, which is milling to break down the corn, break down the corn. So what I want to mention is that you need to be aware how to use a passive voice because it's really helpful. In this case, all actions happen in passive, like corn is stored or corn is milled, something like this. For this reason, I highly recommend to learn passive for your own sake. Corn. After the corn had been had been milled, water is added. Water is added because we can see that water is right here and it's being added during the cooking process. Added. All right, and yes, continues this. There's a corn. The corn is then cooked. As you can see, I'm just using a passive. It always is cooked like this. It's cooked in the water. In the water. In the water for 4 hours. 4 hours. Following cooking. So cooking process is over. Now we are moving to the next stage. Following cooking, the corn is left. The corn is left. Again, we are using passive. I would like to mention it. To ferment. To ferment. To ferment for 48 hours. 48 hours. So as you can see, we are in a process right here. Now we keep on with separation. Purifying comes after next. Okay, right here. Right, you can see right here, and we are going this direction. 48 hours. After this, this is the next body for me. After this period, of sorry about that, fermentation, the next process, the next step, let's say next step. The next step is the separation of the corn into a solid byproduct and liquid. The liquid then enters the stage of purification to produce ethanol which is completely pure a process which takes let's get this one up here so it's gonna be easier. Which takes 5 hours. Here, wait, 5 hours. 5 hours. In the final stage, as you can see, sorting and transfer. In the final stage, in the final stages of the process, the ethanol is stored prior to transportation to the customer. As you can see, we are done with all the processes. We mentioned each one separately, right? We wrote it, we added, and we have here body 1, body 2, and all the process right here completed. The task is accomplished. What we were asked was to how to write this properly, and we mentioned every process with the details. That's what we asked for, like task accuracy, and the clearance cohesion, and the vocabulary and grammar. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.